Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tipped. My name is Julian, and in today's episode, we're going to be doing a Rate My Teams Part 2. I released Part 1 just about a week ago, and I got so many positive reviews and so many more teams that you guys submitted in the comments to that video that I was compelled to make a second video. And since I had a little bit of free time, I'm doing that right now. Before we get started though, guys, please leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. More than half of you guys that watch this channel are not subscribed, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button because I'm trying to hit 5,000 subscribers this year, and every single subscription will help me get closer to that number. Let's jump right into it now, and let's start with the first team that I'll be reviewing today. And our first submission comes from a user named Monkeyface, and he looks like he's in some kind of a standard points leagues with hits and blocks where goalie saves count as points. So let's look and see how he did. Connor McDavid, obviously he drafted first overall. Then he went and got Brady Tkachuk with the second pick. That's fantastic. Mitch Marner. Chris Letang is someone that I do like reaching for, so that's a good pick where he did get him. Sebastian Aho. Evander Kane at 48. That's a fantastic pick. Patrice Bergeron at 49. It's pretty good too. Then we got Nikolai Ehlers at 64. That's an absolute steal. It's incredible because Ehlers will be getting top power play this time this year, which is absolutely fantastic. Sam Reinhart 65, like that. Tristan Jarry is good for your first goalie at 80. Brent Burns, 81. Like that a lot. Seth Jones at 96. We're going to have to see how bad Chicago is this year, but he's still the top power play guy. Should have a decent enough year. And there doesn't seem to be plus minus in this league, so Seth Jones might actually be a decent pick. Dylan Larkin at number 97 is a really, really good pick. I think he's going to have himself a phenomenal year. Trocheck, too, he's going to hit, and he's going to have a really good year on that second line with Panarin. Morrissey's a good pick for a hits league. Tyler Toffoli is playing on the top line with Huberdeau. I like that. Merzlikins is a very, very good pick with that kind of goalie category distribution. Like that a lot. And then he had IR pickups of Charlie McAvoy and Tom Wilson. Like that team a lot. There's really not a whole lot of things that I have wrong with that team. Almost nothing at all. Give that a 9.5 on 10 for sure. This second team submission comes from one of my Patreons, Andrew Klein. We're in a 10-team league, he says, where goals are worth 4, assists are worth 3, plus minus penalty minutes, power play points, shorthanded points, and shots on goal. Weird that penalty minutes is in there, but anyway. He got McDavid first overall, Stamkos, Pastrnak, Jacob Markstrom, Svechnikov in a league that counts hits. That's definitely good. Anderson, I imagine that's the goalie, Frederick Anderson. That's definitely a very, very good second goalie to have. Chris Letang that late, phenomenal. Jack Hughes, like that a lot. Brian Rust, Brent Burns, Kyrou, Trouba, all guys that I like. Rasmus Anderson is someone that is probably going to get top power play in Calgary, so getting him that late, pretty decent. Valeri Nichushkin is someone that I talked about in quite a few videos. I like him a lot this year. Kempe 2, Toffoli, top line, top power play in Calgary. You can't really go wrong with drafting him that late. And McAvoy on your IR, that's definitely someone that's definitely worth taking as late as he took him like that. And Morrissey is very good in a hits league as well. Honestly, I really have no qualms with this draft either, and I think that's another 9.5 out of 10. This next submission comes from a user named Alexandre Timbro, and it looks like he's got kind of an interesting league setting. So when a forward scores goals, he gets 2 points. When a defenseman scores goal, he gets 3 points, and a little bit more for assists as well. Now goalies get points for wins and for shutouts. So there's not a whole lot of categories in this. So it's pretty much a pure points league where goals are favored. So let's take a look at who he got. Leon Draisaitl, you can't go wrong with that. Morgan Rielly, that's very high for Morgan Rielly, but with the defenseman boost, I don't hate drafting Rielly that high. Barkov, John Carlson, Chris Letang, yes. Alex DeBrincat, Mika Zibanejad, Evan Bouchard, Zegras, Malkin, Jacob Markstrom, Tyler Bertuzzi, Troy Terry, Matt Boldy, Uyghur, Verhaeghe, Lehkonen, Slavin, Jarvis, Raquel Forsling. Looks like it's a pretty deep draft. DeBrusk. So yeah, it's getting pretty deep at this point. But it looks like DeBrusk is going to be on the line with Bergeron, so he should be doing decently. Bennett, that late is absolutely insane. And then Sorokin, is that the order that you picked them? That's crazy that you got Sorokin so late. That's definitely a goalie that you're going to want, and he should get a decent amount of wins and shutouts, so definitely a very good pick there. Now, looks like there's a couple guys here that are definitely a little bit questionable. Zegras is a little bit high. Definitely the off nights are going to be nice for the Anaheim Ducks. But how many points is he really going to score this year? That remains to be seen. Other than that, though, I really like most of your draft here. Morgan Rielly seems way early that you picked him. But other than him and Forsling, I don't think it's someone that's going to get a lot of points this year. I think he did pretty freaking well, and I'll give this draft a 7 on 10. This next submission comes from a user named Van Full of Puppies. It's a 10-team Yahoo Bangers League. He had the 9th overall pick and somehow managed to get Kaprizov. That is fantastic. Ovechkin with the 12th for a Bangers League. How did he not go earlier than that? Evander Kane, super good pick there for a Bangers League. Markstrom and Morgan Rielly, Chris Letang, those are good picks too. Connor Hellebuyck, Brad Marchand, definitely a good stash on your IR. Brent Burns at 89 is a huge, super good pick. Teravainen at 92. Rust at 109, I love that. I can't believe Rust is going so late, honestly. Trouba at 112 is fantastic for a Bangers League. We'll get lots of hits and blocks. Tavares at 129? How the hell did he drop so much? I know he's injured, but he's not going to miss a lot of time at all. That's crazy. That's crazy good value. Nichushkin, 132, great value there. Kopitar, 149, should have a good year this year playing with Fiala. Trocheck at 152. You guys all know that I love Trocheck this year. Mangiapane 169, that could be some pretty decent value for Mangiapane. Depends if he can shoot at that crazy pace that he did last year. Hintz at 172, that's just highway robbery. How on earth did he drop so much? Gibson 189 is good. He did get injured in the preseason game today though, so I'm a little bit worried, but hopefully it's nothing too serious and it's just precautionary. Provorov 192, that's fine, and Stevenson at 209 is definitely someone who I don't mind considering he's playing with Marchessault, and Mark Stone definitely could be a steal that late in the draft. I like that a lot. You put Marshall on IR, picked up Hampus Lindholm. Looks like you had a fantastic draft, and honestly, I'll give that an easy 9 on 10. This next one is a 10-man's points league where hits and blocks too, submitted by Scott H. Got Makar first round, which is definitely not bad. Shesterkin second round. So the issue that I had with this is that he didn't pick a forward with his first couple of picks. And so the first forward that he ended up getting was Chris Kreider, which is, he's good, and hopefully he can keep that crazy shooting percentage up. But if he can't, then he's really missing an elite forward on his team, although he did end up getting Timo Meier in the 4th round somehow, which is pretty crazy because I think Timo Meier is going to have some insane value this year. He hits and he shoots a lot, so definitely someone that I like a lot. So definitely made up for the first couple picks. Obviously, Makar and Shesterkin are going to have incredible years, so definitely made up with it with the Timo Meier pick. Elias Lindholm, I like that as well. Saros is dropping to the 6th round. That's absolutely crazy. Drake Batherson, Bergeron in the 8th round is very good value. Thomas Chabot, I love that a lot. Werenski's good value. Jeannot is good value for a hits league. Rust, like I said before, I can't believe he's dropping so much in drafts. And then Gibson is very good value as late as you got him in the draft. Rasmus Anderson, Jared Spurgeon, Robert Thomas. Spurgeon may end up being a drop just because of the fact that it's Addison playing on the top power play, but for now, I'm going to hold on to Spurgeon and see how he does. Overall, I think this is a pretty good draft, and I'll give you a 7.5 on 10. This next one's submitted by Joel Delorme, and he's saying, my settings with no plus minus. So I'm assuming it's a points-based league with hits and block shots. So you got Kucherov, 8th overall. That's pretty good value. Huberdeau, 13th. Gensel, 28th. Ekblad, 33. Frederick Anderson, 48. So far, I have no qualms with this. Letang at 53, very good value. 68 Marchand. You may have reached for him a little bit earlier there, but locking down Marchand is always a solid idea. Tristan Jarry at 73. Burns at 88. Ross, 93. Hintz at 108. Caulfield, Tage Thompson, Sam Bennett, Jordan Binnington, Toffoli, and Horvat. Honestly, you got pretty good value on almost every single player here, and there's nobody here that I'm super worried about. And I think Caulfield, even though he's probably the riskiest pick you made, is going to have himself a really good year this year playing alongside Suzuki, top line, top power play. So I'll definitely give you an 8 on 10 for this draft. This next one is submitted by Sam Wilson. I guess Captain America submitted a draft for me. His keepers were Rantanen, Fox, and Marner. And first round, he got Ekblad. All right, so it's a little bit of a keepers league, so Ekblad, I guess, probably was the best value you can get there. I don't mind that. Saros in the 2nd round is fantastic. Letang in the 3rd round looks very good considering what must have been available to you. Evander Kane, absolutely fantastic. And then we got Fiala, Buchnevich, Pavelski, Binnington, and Hintz. Yeah, I like all these guys a lot. Getting Hintz that late is just crazy. Pavelski, too, looks like he got really late. I think you drafted this before Robertson got signed, so it might be why Pavelski and Hintz slid down a little bit. Well, guess what? Robertson's in, and you're going to have a really nice time with both Pavelski and Hintz on your team. I really like this team, and I think you're going to have a very good year this year in fantasy. I'll give this team a 9.5 on 10. This next one was submitted by a user named Wes Henry. He says, please make a Rate My Team Part 2. And you know what? It actually was your comment that gave me the idea to actually do this once again. And you used my recommended league settings. So I like that you took my suggestions under account. Points league, so it looks like there's going to be hits and block shots. So let's take a look. Johnny Gaudreau, 12th overall. I think that's a little bit early for Johnny Gaudreau. If I'm being perfectly honest, I don't think he's going to be quite as good in Columbus. I don't think he's going to be particularly bad, though. So I still think that it's not a terrible pick, just not who I would have taken at number 12. Roman Josi at 13, I like that. Timo Meier, 36, very, very good value. Markstrom, 37, good value. Evander Kane with Bangers league settings. Are you serious? At number 60, that's absolutely crazy value. Weegar, 2, very good value. Hintz at 84 is solid. Owen Power, I don't like that pick. I don't think he's going to have that great of a season for fantasy-wise, unfortunately, because as long as he's not getting top power play time in Buffalo, he's just not someone I'm super high on. Cole Caulfield, I like. Cam Talbot, I like, but you're going to want to pick up Forsberg if he's still available in your draft because Talbot did get injured, unfortunately. Hopefully you did pick up Forsberg as soon as you heard about the injury. Hurdle is someone that I like. Did pretty well in the first 2 games he played for San Jose. Seth Jones is someone, if there's plus minus, I'm not super high on, but you got him pretty late, and I still think he's going to put up a decent amount of points, so I don't hate that pick. Jeannot is someone who's phenomenal for a Bangers Day. I can't believe he slid that much for you. Gostisbehere is a good pick. Wilson's a good pick. You're going to want to IR him and grab somebody else. Skinner's good at that range, right? I mean, you might as well take a chance on him at that point. And then Tyler Bertuzzi at 205 is a phenomenal steal. So I like your team a lot. There's a couple of picks, notably Gaudreau that early, and Owen Power that I'm not super high on. So for that reason, I'll give your team a 7 on 10. And second to last, we have a submission by Ray K. He said, what do you think of my roster? They count hits and blocks, and it's a points league. So you got Draisaitl in the first round, Kyle Connor in the second round, Pastrnak in the third, and Letang in the fourth. That's very good value for all those guys for the first 4 rounds. Like that a lot. Brad Marchand in the fifth. That's a little bit early for Brad Marchand. You're definitely breaching a little bit, but securing him is definitely solid. Jacob Trouba, Alexander Georgiev, Laine, Landeskog. So you got both Marchand and Landeskog on your IR right now. Okay, I don't mind that. As long as you have a couple of IR spots, definitely not a bad play because you're going to be an insane team later on in the season. Francouz is good that you got him because you also got Georgiev. So now you're getting all of Colorado's starts, which is definitely a very solid play. Jack Hughes that late is good value. Evan Bouchard is someone that definitely could have a huge season if he gets top power play time. Matt Murray and Spencer Knight and Omar. So it looks like there wasn't that many great second options for goalies available to you, but definitely one of these guys should pan out. Murray could see more than half the starts in Toronto. Omar could also see half the starts in Boston quite easily, and Knight also could potentially see half the starts in Florida. So obviously I probably wouldn't keep all these guys on your team the entire year because it looks like you really do have a lot of goalies on your roster, 5 goalies as of right now. So that's definitely not something that you're going to want the entire season because you're not going to be able to start all of them when they're playing. But for now, I don't mind holding on to them and seeing who ends up being the best goalie out of the bunch and then either trading them away or dropping 1 or 2 of them. And then Klingberg as a last pick, as a riskier defensive pick, I don't mind that either. And it looks like you got Toffoli and Tage Thompson to replace Marchand and Landeskog. I like that as well. Overall, I'd probably rate this team a solid 8.5 out of 10. The only qualm I have with it is just the ridiculous amount of goalies that were drafted. And other than that, though, I think you're going to have a really good chance of winning your league this year. All right, so this next one's a 14-man points-based league. I imagine no hits because he didn't specify it. He was first overall. So he took Connor McDavid, as you should, with the first overall pick. He managed to get Sam Reinhart and Point as his other centers. Okay, it's not an order, so we're going to have to kind of guess where he drafted each guy. Gensel, Batherson, Terry, and Jarvis. Okay, so there's no left wing, right wing eligibility, so drafting too many left wing, whatever, doesn't really matter because they're all going to count as wing. That's fine with me. Gensel's a good pick. Batherson's a good pick. I like Terry, although hopefully you didn't reach for him too early because his shooting percentage was kind of inflated last year. Jarvis I do like a lot since he is seeing top power play and top line time with Aho. Bouchard, Carlson, Keandre Miller as your defenseman. Okay, I don't think Keandre Miller is going to have too much fantasy relevance this year, mostly because last year he got, 20 points? And his peripherals were all right, but he finished as what, like the 400 and something best fantasy player. He's just not someone that I'm super in love with this year. And unless he starts seeing some power play time, which he probably won't, I don't really see him having that much of a better year this year. And I don't really see him being that fantasy relevant. Roope Hintz is someone who you probably got super late because he was going really late as an ADP. Definitely like him. Then Markstrom and Husso are solid goalies, although Husso is a little bit risky because there is the chance that Nedeljkovic is the starter in Detroit. But other than that, really, really good team here, and I'll definitely rate this a solid 7.5 on 10. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. And if you do want to take your support to the next level, the link to my Patreon is down in the description. Thanks so much, guys, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Fantasy Tip.